Welcome to the Be Happy Now show. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. I'm Claudia-Sam. If you know that you're here for a bigger reason, this is the place to be. Together, we ditch the self-care guilt and quit the go with less fear and more trust. Tune in to living life in alignment with your full potential. The Be Happy Now show starts now.
Thanks so much for being here. This episode is really for you if you're feeling and when you're feeling like nothing's working out for you, or you think nothing's working out for you. So you might not even know what to celebrate or how to see the glass half full. At the beginning of our coaching relationship, most of my clients, they come to the session struggling to recognize what's working for them. When I ask them, what are we celebrating? It's like if the brain is tuned in to the frequency of ultimately what's going wrong. If you often experience this bracing feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop, this is really what we're going to talk about, because I'm going to share the top 5 fundamentals of seeing the flip side of life without spiritually bypassing or living in rainbows and unicorns land. So if sometimes you find yourself stuck in anger and you just gaslight yourself, or you find yourself unable to have a good day, maybe someone tipped you off, there are things that are worthy of being celebrated. And they are things that are way smaller than what you think. So it's not only once you cross a finish line that you earn the right to be proud of yourself. Every step is progress, good enough to be acknowledged, because without acknowledging those steps, you end up getting to the finish line, wanting to find another finish line to reach for, but then there's another finish line, and then once you cross that finish line, there's another finish line. You get it? So if you allow yourself to be present with the now, you can see more of what is actually going on for you. And ultimately, you get out of your head that thinks a bunch of lies about what happiness needs to look like. And then it just makes happiness inaccessible. And isn't this the Be Happy Now show? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's get right to it. The first fundamental to celebrate and seeing what's working for you is to step back. You're most likely only seeing the bark of one tree and not the whole forest. My father-in-law once told me that, and it completely shifted my perspective. Because when you have a narrow focus and you only see a problem, well, that's not where the solution is either. The second fundamental to celebrating and being able to see what's working for you is to be willing to let the ego be wrong. Yep, if you hold on to the need to be right about how nothing may be working for you, and you want to tell yourself or someone else about all the reasons why that's true, and you're holding on, like in French we'd say "tu tiens le morceau," like you're holding on so tightly, and that ain't either where the solution is. So be willing to let the ego be wrong. Fundamental number 3 to celebrating and seeing what's working for you is to notice the presence of disconnection. Ultimately, you can remember what's your right. Happiness and joy are your right versus hardship and sulking. I mean, hardship and sulking are also your right, but then why wouldn't happiness and joy? Recognizing that the belief in waiting for the shoe to drop, that's an ego belief, and it doesn't belong to the part of you that's connected to God. The fourth of 5 fundamentals to celebrating is to be able to see that progress is everywhere. Being able to recognize that progress is everywhere. When you slow down enough to notice your breath, to notice the smallest movements of your body as you breathe, like in a meditation, in a yoga nidra, or just when you close your eyes for a moment, you can really notice the incremental progress in your life. Because once you become, you go face to face with what's in front of you in the mirror, or in front of you, like let's say you extend your arms in front of you and you look at your palms, you can see the lines in your palms. Like, have you ever spent the same amount of time looking at the palm of your hand than you have at looking at your phone? Like, probably not. You want to be able to recognize that progress is everywhere. And to do that, you get to slow down. You get to be intentional with the present moment, because you can see progress in ways that you're thinking, in ways that you're reacting, in ways you're showing up, loving, giving, receiving. And in coaching, we really take the time to slow down, to notice the incremental progress. And by rebound, like automatically, it just invites more progress in. And that's why I often love to start my coaching calls with my clients by asking, what's working? What are we celebrating? And we move beyond the ickiness of nothing's working, because we're flexing that muscle to find what is. Now, this fifth fundamental to celebrating is all about remembering that ultimately it's your choice. It's your choice to receive in an abundant way or in a closed way. In other words, scarcely, with scarcity. Let me ask you this. Do you want to get what you want? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to love life? Or are you choosing to stick to your guns and prove to yourself that you're right, that this is the way to go? And maybe you're sticking to your guns to prove to other people that it's impossible to be happy all the time or to be happy often. And maybe you prefer, consciously, maybe not, but unconsciously believing that life's never easy. That's just how life goes. And that you have to earn your level of happiness. If that's a belief, notice how you actually may not be choosing to be happy as much as you can. Okay? So that's where empowerment comes from, with the choice. Have you ever judged someone who's too happy or too successful or too free? And notice how that might in itself, in the judgment itself, be limiting you. It might be saying, I'm choosing scarcity over abundance, because if I can judge someone else as too happy or too free or too successful, that means that there's a cap. That means that there's something I believe somewhere, that there's a maximum or a minimum. Therefore, I believe in scarcity. So you decide. And in celebrating even the smallest changes in our thought patterns and letting those changes be enough for now, instead of judging them, like saying, okay, well, this progress isn't fast enough, or I haven't changed my mind and I haven't been able to see the glass half full all day today, so it's not enough to celebrate. That's not what it's about. If you were able to see the glass half full, even for a second, and yesterday it was for 0 seconds, then it gets to be celebrated. Okay? We get to live life tuned into the frequency of love, and that's the place from which we receive our purpose. And that's what soul connection coaching is all about. Helping you to flex that muscle of soul connection, of being the truth of who you are. And if you're interested in what that might look like for you, seeing what's working, exploring different possibilities in your life, allowing yourself to really snuggle up to who you really are, deep down, the parts of you that you might not know yet, they might be ready for you to meet. On my website, you can fill out a form to apply and work together. And this is just a curiosity for you. You can see what kinds of questions are there and let yourself just get curious about what that might look like. And if we're a fit, we can hop on a call. So go to Claudia-Sam-soulcoaching.com, fill out the application form that you'll see on there, and I look forward to reading you. Thank you so much for being here. See you again soon.
You've been listening to the Be Happy Now show with me, Claudia-Sam. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. You are worthy of being you and of connecting to what stops you from living the life you are meant to live. Access more soul connection coaching at Claudia-Sam-coaching.com.